Welcome back! My name is ballerscuba. This is Video Games Over Time. We are still in 1987. Today, we're going to talk about Street Fighter. The story of Street Fighter takes us back to Capcom. We have talked about Capcom several times before. They have been responsible for 1942, Ghosts and Goblins, and Commando. We last talked about Capcom in our video on Bionic Commando. For Street Fighter, Capcom turned to Takashi Nishiyama. We have talked about Takashi Nishiyama before. He was responsible for Moon Patrol and Kung Fu Master when he was working at Irem. Following the release of Kung Fu Master, Nishiyama was hired by Capcom and began releasing games for them in 1985. This would include Trojan, an arcade beat-em-up released in March 1986 that is considered a spiritual successor to Kung Fu Master. On top of his own creations in Kung Fu Master and Trojan, Nishiyama was inspired by Karate Champ and Yi Kung Fu to make a fighting game. He wanted to give this fighting game a story similar to a film. Nishiyama would be joined by designer Hiroshi Matsumoto, programmer Hiroshi Koike, and composer Yoshihiro Sakaguchi. The team would be inspired by several martial arts films, particularly 1973's Enter the Dragon. They decided on an international fighting tournament, with each character having a different nationality and fighting style. One of the game's signature moves, the Hadouken, would be inspired by the Haduho, or wave motion gun, from the space battleship Yamato manga and anime. Street Fighter is a fighting game. Up to 2 players can play at a time, with the first player playing as Ryu and the second player playing as Ryu's rival, Ken. Should one player beat another, the winner will continue through the tournament with their character. The player will go through the tournament fighting 10 different fighters. The final 2 fighters are Muay Thai experts from Thailand, with the final fight being against Sagat, the Emperor of Muay Thai. There are also 2 bonus games that the player can play in between rounds. Fights will be the best of 3 rounds, with each round lasting 30 seconds. The player must either knock out their enemy or at least do more damage than their opponent. The player will be able to move, jump, crouch, block, punch, kick, and use special techniques. Those special techniques, the first in a fighting game, would be iconic in the game. 2 different arcade versions were created for the game. There is what is known as the regular version, with a joystick and a 6-button configuration, and there was a deluxe cabinet that had 2 pressure-sensitive rubber pads that would be used to determine the strength and speed of the attacks. Capcom released Street Fighter to Japanese arcades on August 30th, 1987. Capcom also released the game to European arcades in August 1987 and North American arcades in December 1987. That is a brief backstory to Street Fighter. With that told, it's time to play the game for ourselves. And here we are in the game. This is Street Fighter. As you can see, copyright 1987 by Capcom, like we talked about. And here is the high score list. I do not stand a chance of making that cut. This is a very difficult game for me. You notice how the demo here, they're using the Hadoukens quite a bit. We'll talk about the combos. The combos are incredibly difficult to put in this game. They have not only an incredibly strict timing, well, not incredibly strict, but a very strict timing. It also isn't necessarily consistent, but the hardest part is that the punches and kicks, the buttons, they don't register until you let go of the button, not when you press it. And that is kind of the opposite of what most people are used to in almost every video game. But because of those pressure-sensitive pads that were necessary, well, not necessary, but that were included in the original cabinet, at least the deluxe version of the cabinet, that is how the game is programmed, so that it's not when you press the button, it's when you let go of the button that the attack gets registered. And that makes it very difficult for a lot of people that are used to the game. As you can see, it already looks very difficult. Let's put in a whole bunch of quarters, and then I will talk about what I am going to be doing here. To try to show off the moves, I'm going to be doing me versus nobody, right? I'll be playing as, I'm going to call him Ryu. If you want to get mad at me, call him Ryu or Ryu. That is fine. But I'm going to call him Ryu, and we're going to go up against Ken, the second player, who is not going to be controlled by anybody. Just so I can try to show off the moves. There are 3 moves to show off, so let's see if I can pull off at least 2 of them. We'll go ahead and go with Japan. It makes more sense. All right, Ryu versus Ken. And then I'm going to drop a save state right there. That's a good spot. That was my practice before. All right, so this is me. And I'm going to do down, forward, all the way forward, rocket forward, and then punch. That's the combo. But once again, you have to do it. There we go. You have to do it where you want to actually hit forward. You want to let go of the punch button before you let go of forward. And that's the Hadouken. So there's one. The next one is the hurricane kick. And it's down, roll backwards, and then kick. So let's see if I can pull this one off. This one is a little bit more difficult for me, especially since he likes to jump sometimes. No, that's a punch. All right, come on. Like I said, this one is more difficult for me to pull off. In the game, I'll probably only be going for Hadoukens. But if you land all 4 of these kicks and it's just not going to happen, let's try again. That's how difficult these can be. Even knowing the combo, knowing the tricks, I am struggling with it. That's not a good sign. And you can say it's my skill, granted, but a lot of people struggle with this one. There it is! I didn't actually land it on him, but I actually got it to pull off. Once again, I'm not sure what I did different there, but I was able to actually land the hurricane kick, which sounded more like tiger kick to me, but what do I know? All right, let's reload, and I'll try to show off the third and hardest combo for me to pull off. This is forward, down, then the corner between down and forward, punch. There we go! We got the uppercut. That was the tiger uppercut. Alright, can I do any more combos in this time? The combos are the special attacks, I should say. They are so much more powerful than regular attacks that you really need to be able to put them in consistently if you want to beat this game, and clearly that is not happening for me. Alright, so I won here, and now we're up against an actual opponent. So let's go ahead and drop a new save here, and all I'm going to try to do here is land Hadoukens. The Hadoukens take away 40% of their health. 40%. Even if they try to block it, which is just backwards in this game. There's one. Yeah, 40%. Alright. And now he just like got activated. And notice how little damage I'm doing to him with other attacks. Like, it really is all about that. Alright, you know what? That went very well. I landed 2 Hadoukens, and that was basically enough for me to win. So we're going to drop another save here, as much as I hate doing saves like that. It's the only way that I can even show off... I can show off even a little bit of the game. I'm almost dead. Like, his attacks are so much harder than mine. So much harder. Alright. Come on. And all I want to do is just Hadouken. Spam Hadouken and hope for the best. And I can't do it. Hey, there we go. Yeah, doing it to the left is not in my muscle memory as well as doing it to the right. Alright, no. Just palmed me in the face. I just want to show off like a second character, you know what I mean? Alright, and he blocked it there, so not if you block it, it is less than 40%, so I have been lied to, but that is to be expected in games like this. Alright. Alright. That's not... I feel like he's on a different, like, control scheme than I am. Which is, it's impossible to tell because... Alright. There's one. I'm just trying to do the Hadouken. You can see sometimes he attacks. Once again, I know what the combo is. I feel like I'm putting the combo in. It just doesn't matter. Oh, of course. I land it twice and it just... What, like 3 jumping kicks is enough? So is that like a combo of his? Is that a special attack of his? Is he just destined to win? Can I not even make it out of the first round in a fighting game even while cheating? Is that what you're telling me? Because I just can't put in, the combos. Alright, there's one. I almost want to drop a save after I land a freaking Hadouken. For the record, I do have like stronger kicks and stuff like that. It just doesn't matter. He can block it and I can't. Alright, there's one. I am actually gonna drop a save. I landed a Hadouken. And what? It's right. No, then he tells me to go to heaven. Once again, I feel that I'm doing the same thing every time, and then sometimes just once every like 5 or 10 times it lands. I don't understand. So all right, we got one down. Just like kick him. Just hit him one more time. It doesn't even have to be a Hadouken. Just punch him until he's dead. All right, I won. For the record, everybody says the same things. All right, now we're up against Geki. Yeah, we're not going to make it to Sagat. That's just not going to happen. We're not going to make it to any of the Muay Thai guys. And then he's got a weapon. Why is he allowed this claw thing? Oh, and he can disappear and throw shurikens. Because of course, that's standard for martial arts. What? Like, what kind of tournament is this? Yeah, I'm not gonna beat a guy that can disappear. I'm not gonna do it. I just can't. Not in this game. I can't even... Where? Oh, he went over there. He can go through me when he's disappeared. He can just float up in the air. Alright, well, I got one, and then he hit me with a shuriken. And down I go. To be expected. Yeah, they say the same things. Hey, I made the cut! That's C, H, E for cheating. And I still get 10th on the list. Alright, we'll let that expire. And then I'll show off one more enemy, because this one I can show off, and then that's probably gonna have to do it. The game is just far too difficult for my skill set. Fighting games just aren't my thing. All right, we'll do single player and then we'll do USA. Does that mean you get to play as Ken? Nope, you're still as Ryu, and you're up against Joe, who I don't know. When we're in New York, in what appears to be like the 20s or the 30s, based on the sepia tone of it. Like, he's landing combos. He's landing the special attacks. Everybody has their own special attacks, and they're all better than mine. Especially since I can't pull mine off. Alright, I got one Hadouken off. And that's what I could do. This is a normal way to play the game. And that's the game. That's as good as I'm going to be able to do. I hate that that's as good as I can do, but this game is notoriously difficult, especially when you're just trying to put in the combos, and then everybody else can just put in their combos at any given point. So that's the game, and with the gameplay, it's time to talk about how it holds up today. Playing the game today, I really didn't have a lot of fun playing Street Fighter. I wanted to. I really want to have fun, and I was having a little bit of fun, but ultimately the game is much more frustrating today than it is fun. And it has a lot to do with the controls of the game, and the fact that the combos that you need to put in order to do the special techniques are so precise that people have even brought in tools that will allow them to put in certain inputs frame by frame, and it's still not consistent in terms of when you will land the combo and when you can't, shows that this requires so much muscle memory and so much practice that it's going to be difficult for anybody to come in fresh and play the game properly, because ultimately it really is about the special techniques. That's the main reason that this game stood out at the time. It is the thing that people go back to, of just the origin of these special attacks using these combos, and for it to not really work properly is very disappointing. And granted, we have not seen combos like this in a fighting game or even a beat 'em up before, so there's a little bit of leeway in terms of what I would say is kind of acceptable as they're developing it, but we have seen it in other games and it's worked much better in other games. And ultimately, the way that this game controls is what the most frustrating part of the game is, and it's not even close. The fact that even with save states and practice, I could not make it out of the first round, I think says more about the game than it does me. If you want to say that it's just my skill level, that's fine, but it really felt like the game was not doing anything to help me or teach me at all. This was a game that you put a quarter in and play for about 20 seconds and then you're done. You lost. That's it. Next person up. It's not going to be fun for most people to play this game. Even if you are a modern fighting game player, you're going to struggle with this even if you know the combos. And keep in mind, at the time, you probably didn't know the combos. I doubt too many people are doing what we call quarter circles back in 1987 to just see what happens, right? There wasn't a game like this before. So even when you knew the combos, it's incredibly difficult to put them in. Even knowing it, I was, 1 out of 20, 5 to 10% of the time maximum. It's not fun to play a game like that. So ultimately the controls are what hold it back. So let's start talking about other things. In terms of the sound's not great. It really doesn't hold up that well, especially the voices. The fact that everybody has the same voice, they all say the same thing. It's basically just, this is the sound that it says when you lose, this is the sound that it says when you win. There is something different for Sagat if you beat him at the end. But that's it. There's not really a cutscene or anything like that, if memory serves me correctly. It's just, you did it, and now you get to fight some more. But the difficulty of the game is also incredibly high. The fact that the enemies, your opponents, like I said, they have weapons, they can put in their combos much easier than you can, and outside of your Hadouken, I would say that they have better combos than you. The fact that you have an enemy that can throw a shuriken at you, that can float up in the air to throw the shuriken. They've got jumping attacks that don't go as high as your jump, so it's a lot faster than your jump. All of those, I would say, are problems. And it just makes it much more difficult than I think the game needs to be or was even really intended to be. And you can see it in the demos. Just watch the demos and you'll go, wait, this is going to be a very difficult game. And it starts you there. And I can only imagine what it's going to do as you get further and further into the game. This is a game that's just famous for it. So it's hard to overlook it. The graphics, I think the graphics are good. The graphics are good, I would say. And I think there is a semblance of where the fighting genre could go in this game. It's just that this game in particular was executed poorly, and therefore that's what overshadows the seed of what becomes fighting games in the future, right? The combos, the different techniques, the ability to do the special attacks, but the special attacks versus the basic attacks, the disparity between the damage is just so high that you basically just have to spam special attacks the whole time. And those are very difficult to put in. So ultimately I had some fun, but not a lot of fun. There's a good game in here hidden somewhere, but it would require a lot of fixes before I could recommend this to anybody. I think this is just interesting because of the special attacks and, of course, the name. We'll talk more about the name in other videos, but the name and the special attacks, the combos, are the interesting part about this game. But with that said, I don't think it needs to be experienced by a modern gamer to understand what's going on. And ultimately, it's way too frustrating for me to recommend to anybody except the most diehard fighting game fans or Street Fighter franchise fans. And that's my modern take on the game. When the game was released, Street Fighter would be popular. While the deluxe cabinet with the rubber pads would not be successful, only selling around 1,000 cabinets, the regular cabinet would be much more successful. It is said the regular cabinet sold somewhere between 10,000 and 50,000 units. It would become one of the top grossing cabinets of the year in Japan. It would also be fairly successful in Europe. However, it was not nearly as successful in the United States. With the critics, the game received relatively positive reviews. The graphics and gameplay were largely praised, although some saw the game as repetitive. The deluxe cabinet with the rubber pads, though, was negatively received. Street Fighter would see ports, sequels, and spin-offs. We'll keep an eye on these as we continue. As for Capcom, they would capitalize on the success of the game to keep making a name for themselves in the industry. We will hear from Capcom again in the future. As for Takashi Nishiyama, he would also continue to create video games. We will hear from Takashi Nishiyama again as we continue as well. That will do it for the story of Street Fighter for now. My name is ballerscuba. This has been Video Games Over Time. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in our next video when we summon some demons.